a general reading for the month of June for the sign of Cancer. As with all forms of divination, please use your intuition and discernment to determine which parts of the reading are applicable to your individual situation. This will be an intuitive reading, which means I may receive messages that seem random or inconclusive at certain times. If these don't completely resonate with you specifically, it doesn't necessarily mean that the reading isn't for you. So keep an open mind and feel free to check your other placements for a more complete understanding of your messages. With all that out of the way, let's begin. I'm going to start by getting 6 cards for you guys. Ace of Pentacles, followed by a Advice Animal Oracle card, which will remain face down, and we will check that towards the end of the read to hopefully gain greater insight into something, Nine of Pentacles, that we already discussed, or maybe a message that we missed through the reading. Three of Pentacles. A lot of Pentacles already. The Emperor. Eight of Cups. Five of Cups. All right. Let's get the Advice Animal. Okay, that's going to remain face down to the end. And finally, we're going to get 3 more cards. I'm going to use these as the energy is going to be like moving forward beyond this reading. See if it'll give me some more information about what's going on with you. Nine of Swords. All right. The Emperor. Again. Right below the Emperor. And the King of Cups. All right, my Cancerians. Some of you have walked away from love in pursuit of resources and wealth. I see that, and that could go 2 different ways. That could be that you are so involved in your work that it's hard for you to have time for a relationship, and this could be the other party moving away. But I don't see that as much. I more see that you guys have been embracing the Emperor energy, and you're actually scaring some people off from you. It's not a big deal from what I see. Many of you, the path that you are on now though the people that have exited because of the path that you're on, they weren't serving you anymore. In fact, I think many of you, they were a hindrance in some ways. Being said, I think some of you miss the romantic aspect that you might be missing out on. And keep in mind, that particular scenario is not going to apply for everyone. For some of you, it was work causing rifts with relationships, yes. But for others, it was more of I hate to say it, the person didn't like you standing in this emperor energy. They probably weren't expecting that much from a water sign. They probably, I hate to say it, but I think that this person may have been a bit short-minded. They didn't mesh with maybe your ideas or, in fact, your ideals. I think that many of you have been trying to move forward in business and career, and I think it's maybe been difficult for you to have relationships or to really find someone that's matching you energetically that you want to. Because let's be honest, guys, the emperor energy, it's hard for some people to stomach. They don't like the idea of this commanding presence that's, instructing them on, well, how to behave or how to not behave. Or, the emperor is not shy. He is more than willing to give his opinion about whatever it is that he feels like giving his opinion to. He's the emperor. I think in this time, there's a lot of trust with friends. And I think that part of what is going on is you guys are struggling to find a middle ground. And I don't know if that middle ground is between work and relationship, or if it's balancing. For some of you, you're having a tough time balancing your faces. For many of you, you're embracing this emperor energy so much that you forget to take that mask off from time to time. I think that this Knight of Swords here is indicative of that very thing. I think there's times where you're questioning your power. You're questioning whether this is the most beneficial for you as being in this emperor energy and to be working. Many of you are spending most of your time at work. And for some of you, for many of you, this focus on work stemmed from heartbreak. And I think for many of you, as much as you're embracing that emperor energy, you're always reminded of what pushed you into that energy. And I think some of you would like to soften a bit and maybe become this King of Cups energy. But some of you just aren't quite ready for that. And others of you, that you no longer desire that. I'm drawn to the Five of Cups as far as always remembering something always remembering that negative relationship or encounter that you had that pushed you to pursue work. And here's the thing, energetically, that's not necessarily the worst thing, because what it allowed you to do was, we never get to choose which energies act upon us. But sometimes when these energies do act upon us, they push us in a direction that can be so absolutely beneficial for us. And I think that that's really what you did with the Emperor energy. Is, I think some of you went through a tough relationship, maybe where you felt unappreciated. I can't talk. Unappreciated. Let me get a drink. I'm sorry. You felt unappreciated, and that led you to start kind of embracing this Emperor energy. And the thing about all of this, and this is with any energies whatsoever, guys. And this exists outside of this tarot reading as well. When things act on us, a lot of times it's divine intervention. And what I mean by that is, it's something that's specifically made for you, because the universe is very interesting. Sometimes it knows what buttons it has to push to get, for lack of a better phrase, a rise out of us. And I think that you guys did that, and I think you absolutely did that to the fullest. I think you took what was maybe a failed relationship or a disappointing relationship where you felt underappreciated, and maybe at that time you weren't even in this Emperor energy, but you created things, and you were slow and you were steady with the Knight in Pentacles, but you were deliberate in your movements, and you built yourself up into this Emperor energy. And unfortunately, you did it for what you think in your head was the wrong reasons. But energetically, the reasoning doesn't necessarily matter, because what it has done effectively is push you into the direction where you knew where that's probably where you belonged anyway. So it pushed you in this direction, and now that you're there, I see that you want to maybe soften a little bit. You don't want to always be like, hey, this relationship didn't work out, and it pushed me, to focus on my work and to focus on my craft, and I did those things, and I was proud of it. And people look up to me because they see that I'm a man of action, and that I get things done, and that I can be trusted, and that I'm all of these things. Let it go. What I want you to let go is the reasons why you did that. It's not important. Quit looking back and diminishing what it is that you've done because you don't necessarily like the energies that caused it. In time, you will find someone that energetically you mesh with, and you will see yourself kind of move into this King of Cups energy. It's not so far-fetched. But one thing that we have to do when we're not always acting of our own volition. Sometimes there are extenuating circumstances, or there's things outside of our control that are pushing us in a way that we don't necessarily understand until we look back on them. And I think that a lot of you sitting in this Emperor energy, you're now looking back on it, and you're saying, how did I get here? You're saying, I don't really dislike who I've become, but I'm so different from the man in that relationship, or the woman that was in that relationship, or that failed situation. I'm so much different now. And I think some of you ask yourself, if I had embraced this sooner, would this have worked out? But it doesn't matter, guys. It's time to let that go and just enjoy standing in the Emperor energy. The Emperor energy is not going anywhere. It was made for you to step into. And you have done that. You are doing that. You are methodically stepping into that role as the emperor, as the one that people can depend on. It's okay that people didn't see that before. It's okay that you're different now and that you would have handled those situations differently. That's all fine. That's part of learning. And I think that's part of why this Emperor and the King of Cups showing up is you're going to reach a time where you can balance these things. Balance standing in that firm Emperor energy, but have a softness to you, the King of Cups, for the right person that respects what you're doing and energetically supports you. And I think that I see a power couple coming. But it's going to be hard for you guys to embrace it if you can't give up these notions of you don't deserve to be here, or energetically you're only here because of someone. Because it doesn't matter. Well, I know a lot of people say, oh, the journey's the only thing that matters. Yes and no. The journey matters, but only to the point of the present and who you are embracing in the present moment. If you're not embracing anyone in the present moment, then it doesn't matter. If you're not embracing who you are in the present moment, it doesn't matter. So keep that in mind going forward, guys. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I know that sometimes that's hard for us to acknowledge, is that we're exactly where we're supposed to be. A good friend of mine, we were having a discussion recently, and I offered him the advice. We were talking about self-improvement. We were talking about ways on building on improving lives and whatnot. And I offered him this simple advice. I said, man, I love that you're wanting to make these changes, and I love that you want to do these positive things to become better. But at the same time, I said it'll be very meaningless if you don't understand here and now that you're deserving of love now, just the way that you are. Of course, improve yourself. Of course, build on the foundations that we want to be. We all want to be better people, but we all deserve love now. There's not these invisible milestones to where once I reach this, then I'll be worthy of love. Or once I reach this, then I'll be worthy of love. We're all worthy of love now. So we can't judge our current worth on people who didn't see our worth in the past. And if you continue the methodical work on yourself, the right people will show in your life. So you don't even need to worry about that. Right. Let's look at the Oracle card. Porcupine. Says, you may defend yourself honorably without hurting those close to you. It's a bit fitting for the Emperor energy, because as I said earlier, like some people, they can't handle that Emperor energy. They don't like feeling small. They don't like when someone's personality is larger and greater than theirs. It makes them have to kind of look at themselves and say, man, like, how is this guy able to do this? Or how is this gal able to do this? I can't do that sort of thing. That being said, it's necessary for you to defend yourself in these situations. And I think, as I had kind of alluded to earlier, this move into the Emperor energy, I think, ultimately was from a defensive place. I think that it hurt you, so it allowed you to, or made you dig deep and kind of change the way that you handle business. But the porcupine's telling you you can do that without hurting those close to you. And I think maybe if I had to relate it to something, it would be this King of Cups. And we talked about kind of moving this Emperor energy. When the person is right for you and they mesh well with you, moving that Emperor energy more to the King of Cups energy. Letting being a little bit more emotional. And I think that that's kind of what the porcupine is symbolizing there. Is, yeah, defend yourself, be the emperor, be the man, be all of these things, but you got to soften up for your loved ones and those that are your tribe, the ones that are around you. So you want to always be honorable to those that are around us and that we love. So, that being said, I hope that you guys got something from that. It was, I know, kind of specific, but guys, I read these intuitively. So there's times when a certain storyline is what plays out through the cards, and I just tell you the story that is being given to me. And it's up to you to use your discernment, your intuition to figure out which parts of that you want to use. If you only want to take out little bits and pieces of it, great. Whatever's going to help you for your highest good, that's how you have to handle business. And another option is, if this didn't entirely resonate with you, check out your other placements and see if there is a message that you can get some more information out of. It's a lot like syncretism in the world. It's like there's no one correct answer to do everything. You have to take resources and take information from all sorts of different places. Once you do that, you can really start painting a big picture of what you need to do moving forward. So thank you guys again for joining me. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be great. We will be keep an eye out. We're going to have more videos coming outside of tarot. We're going to be diving into some mindfulness and meditation practices. We're going to talk about dealing with the shadow self and a bunch of other interesting topics. So if you guys subscribe, you'll get notified when not only we do the monthly tarot readings, but when we start expanding on the content as well. Any support would be greatly appreciated. Thank you once again, and y'all have a blessed day.